So this is one of the weather stations that I was talking about, and you can see on the temperature range there, it actually gives you four temperatures. The one on the left, which is 17.3, is the temperature where this is right near the window. So a little bit cooler in the house in this location. But I'd say the rest of the house is probably about 20 degrees. So the next one, 1.5 Celsius, is the outdoor thermometer, which is around my kind of bar area, which shows the kind of temperature outside but semi kind of sheltered on there. The zero point 0.8 Celsius there is actually the temperature in the summer house at the moment. And amazingly, I've kept bird of paradise plants in there and they've been fine, even though the temperature goes down to near freezing. And then we have on the right hand side, we have the 7.6 Celsius, which is the greenhouse temperature. So I've basically got the two temperatures from the outbuildings and the outside temperature around the bar area. So this here is my second weather station, which I bought kind of recently. I think it was about £25. Very basic. It shows you the temperature inside, which is 24.2. Now that is right near a radiator. That's why that's so high. Then we have 1.6 Celsius, which is the temperature just underneath a tree near the front of the house. You've got the just below freezing temperature there, which is the ambient temperature outside. And then you've got the 4.5 Celsius, which is on the right hand side there. That is where the thermometer is basically placed in near the trunk of the Phoenix canariensis palm at the front there. So you can see first thing in the morning, we are about 4.5 degrees, if not 5 degrees above what the rest of the kind of garden is, because it's bathed in sunshine. So that's the part of the reason why I think the palm is going to do well in that location, because of that overhead protection and the fact it gets early morning sun. It won't get so hot evening sun, so that may be a bit of an issue. But that's really getting it through the winter is going to be the biggest challenge, really, making sure that it comes through okay on that one. So let's go and have a look at where the sensors are. So starting at the back of the garden, we have in the greenhouse, we have the temperature sensor. It is now up to 8.2 degrees in there. So it's located kind of a little bit higher in the greenhouse there. So potentially temperature would be a little bit lower further down. But it gives you a good idea actually overnight what the temperature has kind of fallen to. Next thermometer is just on the table inside the summer house here. And yeah, so that records obviously the temperature in the hot tub and sauna area. And I've mainly got bird of paradise plants in here, as well as a few other kind of house plants. It does go down to freezing generally in here on a very, very hard frost. But generally it stays quite warm in here because of all the thick timbers and the double glazing, although the windows are slightly open for airflow at the moment. So we're now at the bar area, which is much more near the house, and I keep my other sensor just around the corner here. And all of the sensors I try to protect from rainfall. So although they are splash proof, I found over the years that if you don't put them in a sort of overhead location or the other option is in like a plastic bag, you find that the sensor eventually goes bad and then you have to replace the whole thing, which ultimately it's best to not have to do too often. But then again, they aren't mega expensive weather stations anyway. So that's the front garden sensors. The back garden, sorry. Let's go and have a look at the front garden. In the front garden, I have a Norwegian maple, which obviously isn't in leaf at the moment. And the temperature sensor I keep here. So I've put it in a plastic bag, like a special like sort of zip bag, and it's upside down in case any moisture gets in the bag. It can run out the bottom if it needs to, and then it is essentially just wired to the side of the tree. And this gives me a kind of ambient temperature in a kind of semi-shaded sort of position. So our next temperature sensor, let's just walk down here. So this temperature sensor I keep in the little jungle hut area, and again that's sort of semi-protected on there. At the moment it's just sitting on this bench, and again it's in that plastic bag on there. This temperature sensor, I would say, always seems to read a little bit cooler than it probably is in reality. It seems to be kind of like last night, for instance, was about a degree lower than the other two sensors, which doesn't really make sense because it's in a kind of sheltered area here. So yeah, I don't 100% believe that these sensors are mega accurate, but they do give you an idea in comparison to the other sensors. It starts to build up a picture of you know, what the temperature is doing. And the last sensor, which is the furthest away, and I would say these sensors have a great range on there. They're not tripping out or anything, so they send the signal really well. And my other temperature sensor, you can probably see it already, it's just tucked behind the back of this phoenix palm, and again it's in that zip bag, and that will be relaying the information back to the base station, which is all the way over there in that top right hand window. So quite a decent distance actually, and for the money they are a bargain, these temperature sensors. Just look for the ones that have got the 3 sensors in there and they will serve you well. Before we finish the video, I just thought I'd show you, this was an improvised bit of sheltering. I've got this huge palm in a pot here. So it's a Washingtonia palm, very, very heavy pot on there. And I've just protected it a little bit from using a ladder and some fleece just to take the edge off of the temperatures on there. So that was done last night because it was going to be a kind of -2, possibly -3 frost. So I've just used what I could just to sort of semi cover it on there. And another thing that I did yesterday is I threw the other 2 Canary Island date palms in here, just inside the garage where it'd be above 0. Again, they're in quite big pots. So just drag those in, which are next to my Enseti bananas on there. So yeah, so that was a bit improvised, but it obviously helped. And today, as the sun moves round, I will keep this door open because I'm here all day today. The sun will go in there and just help the plants a little bit. So hope you've enjoyed this sort of frost special really video about the different areas of the garden, my cold spot, and the way I obviously the things that I use to record, temperatures and things like that. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. Starting to build up a good collection now, which covers most areas of the garden, and I will see you on the next video.